Good morning, guys. Good morning. I have an incredible human with me. She's a mum to four beautiful neurodivergent children, and it's a pretty chaotic household that she's going through. But you know what? She wouldn't have it any other way. And she's a mum who is desperate and no, desperate's the wrong word, is passionate around making sure that she serves other people and other families just like her. She has got a passion to be able to create a luxurious sensory line of clothing that will really, there's nothing like it in the market. And if we know anything, as mums of autistic children, as dads, as carers of autistic children, we know how hard it is sometimes for our kids to get dressed in the morning. We know how hard it is to have that clothing, the tags, the seams, the fabric, and how overwhelming that can be sometimes to be able to put that clothing on. And so I cannot wait to chat to Kathrine about all the wonderful things that she has done in terms of creating her beautiful line, Sanguine Clothing. That's Sanguine Crew, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. And I'm so excited to hear more about it. So welcome, Kathrine. Tell me a little bit more about your story.
Thank you. We started, it was all pretty scary starting the whole journey, and we felt a little bit lost. So we wanted a way to try and help other families realise it's not the end of the world and it's okay. And so that's where the idea of Sanguine came from. And then we sort of thought, well, what are our biggest challenges? And it's always, everyone get in the car, and then once they're in the car, this jumper's killing me, and that's hence where the meltdowns all start for the day, and it goes downhill from there. So that's where it all started from.
I love that, because it's not uncommon, right? It's not uncommon for these kids to be getting ready for school and or daycare or kinder, and just not wanting to put on that clothing because it is just feels. I can only imagine that someone described it to me that wearing a jumper felt like prickles on their skin, right? Yeah. I couldn't imagine what that would feel like if someone's saying to you, you have to put this on and wear this all day, and that's the feeling that you get if that's how do you know what I mean? Like, that's just horrendous. I would hate to be in that situation. Yeah. And it's unfair for these poor, beautiful children to be in that situation, to be wearing that clothing. So I love that you have created something to fill that market and fill that gap.
Yes. So a normal sort of like a knit jumper, especially, that feels like sandpaper on your skin sometimes. So
really?
Yeah.
That's just crazy. It is crazy. Okay. So what details did you focus on when you were designing the clothing?
Yeah. So my one of my biggest ones was the neckline, because there's nothing worse than trying to get ready for a bath at the end of the day, and you've got to take that hoodie off, and it's going to be too tight, and you've had enough of the day, and the kids have. So, and just trying, with sensory sensitivities so strong around their ears and everything. So if you're trying to pull a jumper off, that can just be enough that then the rest of the night's gone. So, and also t-shirts up around your neck can be quite irritating as well. So we really focused on the neckline. This is one of our shirts. So we've all got the seams on the outside. The feel of the material was huge. With samples of materials have gone backwards and forwards so many times. We've actually got a knit that's made out of bamboo, so it looks like a normal knit jumper, but it's really beautiful and soft. They're our main sort of things, and I just test everything on the children, get them to wear them, sleep in them, whatever we can, so that I actually know it has worked as well. So
yes. Can you tell the schools now that they can start implementing
I'm trying.
That would be so helpful to have schools that have something, that have an understanding around that.
Yeah, our school, we've still got the worst socks in history at our school, and there's days I just go, guys, wear our socks, and they can call me if we've got a problem, because it's going to be a lot better for the school and for you today if you wear the Sanguine socks rather than the school socks. So and
sometimes you just got to choose your battles, right? Like,
exactly.
Oh my goodness. I would rather a child who is super regulated going off to school as opposed to someone who is dysregulated and I haven't even gotten out the door yet. right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I notice the older children quite often they'll come home and they'll have a singlet on underneath just to minimize a little bit of that prickly
Mm.
polo or yeah.
And then the singlets, are they like the compression sort of singlets?
No, we didn't go. We thought there's already a lot of compression wear out there. We just wanted something that was comfortable. So it's a bamboo singlet. Actually, I've got one here. I don't normally have them on my desk, but I do. So there we go. So it's
beautiful.
just a bit tricky to sort of get. So it's just a plain one. And we've got a little "I am incredible" written on it, which we just think is really nice for the kids to, they're told that they're doing the wrong thing all day. So we just want them to know that they are incredible before they head off as well. So
yes, they are incredible. I feel like they need to read that, and it needs to be like on the walls all the time for them to read this. They go out the door, like, that I am everything. I'm worthy. I'm smart. I'm clever. I'm all those things.
Exactly.
Because it doesn't, we maybe as parents, we probably don't say it enough to them, but I know that we think it a lot, but whether we actually verbalize it to them as much may not be as often as we'd like. And so for the people who are listening on audio, who may obviously haven't seen what you were just showing up, what's the website that they can head to?
So it's sanguinecrew.com. And so Sanguine is SANGUINE.
Perfect.com. Perfect. Okay. So guys, you can go there and have a look, and you can obviously purchase direct through the website. And there'll be all the bits and pieces that you can inquire there. But it's just important that people can get a visual of what they look like is really important.
Yes.
And is it just are they more inner, like under clothing that it's more designed for, or is it outer clothing as well?
Yeah, so at the moment we've got, I guess you'd call it sort of loungewear mainly. So we have socks, singlet, the children's range. We have 2 t-shirts and 2 long sleeve t-shirts that can be worn either as pajamas. I wear mine out all the time. And then we've got a hoodie and a knit jumper and a beanie as well. So, and we go from a size children's 2 up to a adults 6XL. So we really, because we all know we don't grow out of autism. So
yeah. And anything to make, like, as if you wouldn't want to make your life a little bit easier. I don't know any mum who's out there going, yes, I'd love to wash the clothes by hand instead of putting them in the washing machine. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's make our lives easier. Let's make our children's lives easier so that they can feel empowered to be able to learn and socialize and do all the things. We don't need to add an extra layer of difficulty to their lives.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And, and we might not need it every day, but we all wake up and we have days where we go, it's just not my day today. I can feel everything feels different on me, and, every sound is irritating me. And they're the days where it's great to be able to wear one of the t-shirts or, when you come home, I can tell what kind of day my kids have had at school because they'll come straight home, take their uniform off and put their Sanguine Crew clothes on. So you sort of think they just need to just feel nothing and be comfortable.
Yeah, totally. And would you recommend, I know obviously this line is dedicated more for neurodivergent people, but would you recommend it for typical people? Like if you've got a mum who's super stressed out and she wants something beautiful to wear, because we all know, like, oh well, I shouldn't assume, right? But when I'm coming home, I want to put my like leggings on or my my pajamas on. I want to feel comfortable when I'm at home, right? So would you recommend it for parents who are potentially stressed out but that are neurotypical as well?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, anyone loves to be comfortable, and and it really is that kind of feel that when you put it on. I've had people that have bought the because we have lounge pants as well and shorts, and they've bought an outfit to go to hospital when they're having a baby, or when my mum was going through chemotherapy, I'd always have clothes there that she could wear so that she was comfortable. When you're feeling sick, you don't need to have irritating clothes. And
yes. Oh, I love that so much. So just for the listeners and the viewers that are watching right now, just remind us, how old are your children again?
We've got 11, 10, 8 and 6.
Okay, so all in primary school age, which is
Mhm.
where you're going to notice a lot of that. I don't want to wear these. A lot of those meltdowns coming on, a lot of the
Yeah.
scratchiness. And maybe as a secondary schooler, I would assume maybe that they would be able to tolerate, but why should they, right? Why should they
Mhm.
have to tolerate it if they don't have to? So, okay, good. So do you have a new range in the works at the moment?
We do. We've got a new range will hopefully be out in May, which is, that's
So
a
exciting.
lot more. So it's going to be our winter range. So we've got a new hoodie that's looks like all those hoodies that the other teenagers wear and preteens and everything that are out at the moment. So it's got the puff riding and everything that they all love.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's sort of, it's aimed for that teen, young adult sort of thing. So a hoodie, a couple of t-shirts with some really nice designs on them. And a pair of
Okay.
tracksuit pants as well. So
Love it. Yes, because
yeah,
like most children, they still want to fit in. They still want to look cool. They still want to be with
exactly.
their friends, but they
Yeah,
also want to be comfortable enough that they can converse without having to feel that scratching tag or whatnot.
yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah.
Because I hear a lot about your amazing socks. So, can you tell me a little bit more about your socks?
Yeah, they're seam free feel. So obviously they still need a seam in there somewhere to
Mhm.
tie it all together, but you
Mhm.
cannot feel it at all. They're the only ones that I'll wear because I hate socks and shoes. If I can wear bare feet, I'm bare feet.
Really?
Which
How
is also
funny.
really bad because if the kids have made cereal in the morning, you're guaranteed to have it everywhere. So then, mum's sensory issues are going to go off the wall as well.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
you don't have the same feel. They're not restricting like a lot can. And made out of bamboo. So they're breathable, nice and thin.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Oh
also
my
have
God.
that I am incredible written on the bottom as well. So,
Really? So is that the
yeah.
tagline that's on all of the
It is
clothing?
for this range, yeah. So
Yeah.
that what I'm wearing here, you can see it written, and then underneath it says, "And you are too." So it's really about
Love that.
feeling okay to say that you're incredible. I think in
Yes.
Australia we tell everyone, "Oh, tall poppy," or you think you're so good. No, why can't we be proud of ourselves? And
100%.
yeah,
Preach it. And you should say it for the people in the back, Katherine. It is so important that we say that because you're so right. That tall poppy syndrome is alive and well in Australia.
yeah, yeah,
And I just think we don't need that. We don't need to be constantly putting ourselves further down or in a box, God forbid that we actually do something better or greater or anything like
yeah.
yes, shout your worth.
Yeah. And it doesn't mean we're saying we're the best out there or anything. We're just
Yeah.
saying, hey, we're proud of ourselves. So
Yes.
yeah,
Oh, I love
yeah.
that. I
And
love
it could
that.
be, that we're proud of ourselves just for getting out of the house in the morning. It doesn't have to be a big
Yeah.
achievement or, it could be a new sound that the children have been able to learn how to say that day or,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of the time parents of neurotypical children don't quite understand that like those small wins that we get as
Yeah.
for parents of neurodivergent children, right?
Yeah.
That one tiny thing, that ability to him for that child to stay regulated through a full entire class, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or not being able to, like, not feeling the need to get up and move around, maybe because they're feeling regulated, or not having the meltdown. Or there's so many things
Yeah.
that we take for granted, eating that one piece of whatever,
Yeah.
right? It's mind blowing. I call my girlfriends know now. Like I will call them and like be shouting and screaming, "Oh my God, he used toothpaste." Oh my God.
Oh, toothpaste.
It's not
Below
easy,
the
right?
toothbrush, it has to go on.
Yeah, exactly. Or then
Yeah.
he ate the sandwich that was cut in triangles instead of squares, or
Yeah.
you name it. And it's just so brilliant where my girlfriends who've got neurotypical kids can actually be that cheerleader that we're looking for, right?
Yes.
That's what
Yeah.
we all need those cheerleaders to be like, yeah, it's a rough road, and sometimes you do need those cheerleaders to go, yes,
Yeah.
well done. Oh, I
Yeah,
love
definitely. Yes. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So tell us a little bit more about your family. So we mentioned that you've obviously got 4 children.
Mhm.
You're married. What does that look like when it comes to your household?
Yeah. So all of our children are autistic and ADHD. We've got some dyslexia in there and a few other learning disabilities. We've also got some really smart autistic memories happening as well. So that's a real interesting mix. We've got, I only just got diagnosed because I always thought do the children first, then do myself. I can highly advise any parents out there that are thinking that, don't do that. Get yourself sorted, because I'm such a better parent since I've got my own medication as well to help. I can, oversensitizing doesn't happen as much because I can help myself. It's that old oxygen mask kind of look after yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So with saying that, my husband's not diagnosed yet, but we all know that we're all there living the life together. So yeah. So we just, I guess, we didn't pick up on the early signs of autism and ADHD because to us, the fact that the kids would lie the toys up all around the house was normal, because that's what I always did. So, we just, okay, that's how we do things. We're always active. We've never slept. So it was all normal. So
I love that.
Yeah, but I guess our whole world is just, we help the ones that are struggling on the day, and they're all fantastic kids, so they're all happy to help each other. We know if someone's having a bad day, to help them out. It's nothing for one of the older girls will go and get one of the younger ones uniform, and then I'll be dressing, I'll normally dress 3 of the children, if they're not able to dress themselves that morning. Just things like that people don't realize goes into, like you said, into a neurodivergent household. And then there is the setting off of each other as well with multiples. If one's having a meltdown, I can't just focus on them, because there's a chance that 2 or 3 of the other ones are also struggling, and that's what set this one off. So that can be, that's probably the most exhausting part, is you're having to think about everybody all the time. So there's never a downtime.
Yeah. And so do you find that when one has a meltdown, the other one, it's sort of like a domino effect, or that doesn't actually happen as much?
Yeah, it can be. Quite often it can be, unless I'm able to catch it earlier, then it can be okay. But we'll go from everybody happily jumping on the trampoline to cage fighting. It's like it's unbelievable how it changes. And we've just got a new trampoline that's not that easy to get in and out of for an adult, so I really should have looked at that first.
Is it got the netting around it?
It's got the netting, and you kind of have to squeeze in there. So but yeah, it's full. You have to be ready all the time. There's never a just sit back and relax, or
Yeah, totally. I can totally appreciate that. Oh man, absolutely. And so how would you say that you advocate for children at school, especially if they are feeling, like you were saying before, feeling a little bit off, then having to put on the school uniform? That's obviously giving them feelings of, that's not comfortable, I don't really like this, but then knowing that they're going to have to go to school, and then whatever happens, maybe you're getting a phone call from the school, maybe they're asking you to come in, maybe it was all fine, but then they've come home and just melted down. Like, how do you advocate for them so that they're getting the right support that they need?
Yeah, so every school's definitely totally different. We swapped from a public school and went to a Christian school just for that extra love and care. We were lucky enough to be able to do that. But I still, if I notice in the morning that something's a bit off, or I might have observed for a few days the girls are masking, but there's something that's just not there, I just send an email to the teachers and just say, hey, heads up, something could be coming. So, and quite often, oh no, they're fine, and then the next day it'll be, the kids were hiding under their desk, they couldn't come out for the lesson, or so. It's, as a parent, we know when something's not right. We need to go by our instinct and don't feel like, oh, I'm pestering the teacher. There's nothing wrong with a quick little email. It doesn't have to be a big one. It can just be, they look a bit off today. Simple as that. And then they might know if they're having to ask a couple of times for a task, not to push it, just let them go. But constantly talk to the teacher, think of new ideas to come up with. I always include the OT if we're having a big discussion about something, and the speechy. My youngest one really struggles with speech, so I've sent in a chart with, he doesn't know the difference between hot and cold, so I've got pictures of hot and cold on there, that he might need some time in his space. He's got a little space in the teacher's office that he can go to if he needs some time out. He's always got a special blanket, things like that he might need, a drink of water, that I've done it in a chart with pictures. I'm actually going to post it on our socials and our website so that people can download it or give them an idea to create their own.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, just so that, and I find it's more because we are a mainstream school, so that it's the specialist teachers that really, they don't spend enough time with the kids to understand them. So it can help more with them, that the kids can just point to a picture, because words are always the first thing to go. I know with my autistic children when they're struggling. And so it really does help to have that picture, so they're not having to make sure they're saying the right words and look them in the eyes, and there's so many.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's so important though, that those visuals. I think I've mentioned to you or to people on the podcast that I actually treat my children like mini CEOs, right? Like giving them an understanding of what's coming next so that they can better understand what the future holds. So it just makes it a lot easier. Out of your children, are they, you obviously mentioned that one of your sons is, well, he's obviously speaking, but he's not completely verbal. Is that what you said?
Yes. Yeah.
Are they all verbal? Or?
Yeah, the older three are all verbal. My second one, as soon as she's starting to struggle, will go non-verbal, but we'll still try and communicate with us. The youngest really struggles still with pronunciation, but he will try and talk. So, and he is really good also with, if you're looking at him, you can understand what he's saying, because he'll find things to show you. He's fantastic, actually. At communicating. It really blows your mind how someone so young can communicate so well. But if you're in the car and he's trying to talk to you, it can be really hard because you can't see him and communicate that way. So
Would you say that there's a particular piece of clothing that you think every parent of an autistic child should have?
Oh, it's hard, because I find, especially with having 4, every autistic person is so different. It's really hard. So I think, look, just a t-shirt is always a great way to start, because then at least you can put it on underneath a uniform, or you can just put it on at night time, and even if you can't handle pants, at least you've got a t-shirt, and you can just
I love that. Because I think it's important for parents to know that this is an option, especially when we hear so much around dry brushing, around, trying different clothing. I would be like, well, let's try this first. Let's see, let's ditch all the other stuff. Let's just try if this clothing is going to feel good, and then we can move on to the other thing. Because I've got so many parents at the top of my head that I could think could really use these pieces of clothing, because, again, regardless of the age, no one wants to feel uncomfortable, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's just the reality.
As I get older, I think I'm less likely to put up with it too, whether it's because we're so busy being mums and we've got so much on our minds. We're like, the last thing you need is to be, pulling, going, oh.
Yes. And how do they fare in the hot and the cold?
Well, they're bamboo, so they're fantastic in both. They're moisture wicking, they're breathable.
And I'm assuming all able to put in the washing machine. That's not an issue.
Yeah, we put it all in the washing machine. It's not meant to go in the dryer, but we have put ours in the dryer before, and it's been fine. It may just affect some of the logos a little bit. It might make it a tiny bit bally, things like that. The dryer, but it doesn't shrink it. Probably wouldn't put the knit in the dryer though. I don't think that would.
No, I don't think that would fit very well.
But so it's not advised. But if you need that item, it can go in there. So,
and I'm assuming they obviously don't need ironing or anything like that. No. Okay, great.
I don't think I even own an iron, so no.
Yes, I understand completely. No, that is so wonderful. So you are doing a generous offer for the URC and community listeners. So I think what you were saying was that any purchase that went through, if they're using the code "you are seen" all in capitals, they get a free pair of socks.
Yes, that's right.
Absolutely amazing. I know I'll be putting in my order because I'm interested just for me, right?
Yeah.
And just to see what that feels like. And then obviously I would love to get some stuff for my children, both of them, because I've got one neurodivergent and one neurotypical. And it'd be lovely because I know my neurotypical just loves that feeling of coziness. And, who doesn't love the feeling of coziness? So I'm definitely going to be putting in an order. So guys, if you are listening and you do want a free pair of socks, please pop in the order. When does the promotion finish?
I think I've got it through until next Friday from memory. Yeah, so we'll do it for at least until so we'll give it 8 days for everyone to put something in. We are in southeast Melbourne as well, so if anyone does want to come and actually, because I know that everyone is individual, so feel free to contact me and we can make a time to meet and if they want to try it on or just feel it for their children first as well.
Amazing. I love that. I didn't even know that was an option. So that's so good. So guys, you've got until next Friday. If you're listening on YouTube or on Spotify or whatnot, and this is obviously past that, you can obviously still reach out to Kathrine.
Yeah, definitely.
Working out. But it's just so nice to know that there's like that little bit of an incentive to buy, right? You're already getting something amazing, but you're getting the cherry on top as well. Okay, just share with us again the website and where people can find you.
So Sanguine Crew, SanguineCrew.com. And we got Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, all just under the Sanguine Crew tag as well.
Perfect. All right. Okay. Now it's time for rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Okay.
What's the best piece of advice that you've ever received as a parent?
Follow your instincts.
Yes, very much so. Unfortunately, what I've seen with a lot of clients, friends, and even with myself, when you go into fight or flight, that instinct sort of switches off, right? And you can't really find it. So trying to switch it back on is so imperative. But yes, I love that. How do you handle moments of doubt or overwhelm?
I overwhelm, or that can be a tricky one with the 4 to try and find that time to get away. But doubt, I think I just try and go back to the basics. Just stop everything and just think, right, what are we trying to achieve? And just start from the start. Where's the behavior coming from? Let's go right back and try and move forward from there.
I love that. It's absolutely true. Strip it all back. What's one tool or resource that you think every parent should have? Other than your clothing range, obviously.
Obviously. I just think whatever your resources are that you already have, if you already have OTs and speeches and you've got teachers, everybody, you need to be totally open with your resources that you've got. That's probably more my thing. Don't worry about what people are thinking about your kids or that you've got to hide something, and be honest about your own parenting as well with them. Because if you're trying to portray the perfect parent, they're not going to see, we all make mistakes. So we need to just be honest and open and all work as a team. It needs to be a team.
Yeah, because that idea of perfectionism is it's a load of baloney. I really don't think, because what I believe is perfection is going to be different to what you perceive as perfection. There's not really this like one size fits all. It doesn't work like that.
No.
Yeah, I love that. What is a mantra or a quote that you live by?
The quote that I live by is pretty big, and it's a speech in a movie, so I'm not going to try and even go like that. But it's probably why I also loved the name Sanguine as well so much, because it's about giving yourself permission to strive for greatness and to believe in yourself and have a go at something that might feel a little bit uncomfortable. Or, even before I had kids, the thought, if someone had said to me, you're going to be given 4 children with autism and ADHD, I would have thought there's no way I can cope doing that. But let yourself try your hardest and see what can happen. Don't be scared. Yeah.
Yes. What's the quote from the movie? Which movie is it from?
The movie was from Coach Carter, so it's about I
Oh,
don't know
yes.
if everyone's seen it, but yeah, when the young boy who's been quite troubled gets up and makes that speech, it's just try and watch that without crying, and you
I
do
know.
well.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
And are there any books that you would recommend?
I don't know. I've bought 1,000 of them. Typical ADHD. Let's buy all the books.
Yeah.
There's one. I wish. You know what? I'll comment on the bottom of it. It's not one that I'm reading. It's actually one that my dad's reading at the moment. He's bought it for me. It's sitting on my bedside table.
Yep.
But it's really helping him understand the kids and to adjust from parenting in the 80s to parenting neurodivergent children in the what are we now, 2025, and understanding why they act the way they do. It's really helped him. So I'll find that and I'll come.
Yeah, let me know. Just send me a DM and then I will post it out to all of the community, because I think that any sort of resource, especially if you've had really good feedback, is something that I'd love to share with the community, because it just there's so much coming at a parent when they're getting an autism diagnosis for their child.
Yeah,
it's hard to sift through what's going to be right, what's going to be wrong. So just having something that personally really which works and that's really good is always going to be a gem.
Yeah, and I think for a late 60s man to be happy to sit there and read it, it must have some good things in there. And the other day he went to say something and I went, "What's that book taught you about?" And straight away his mind shift, you could just see it switched, and he really went, "Okay, now it makes sense what they're doing." Yeah,
yeah,
I've got to read it. I really do.
So good. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
With you. Yeah, no, it's been awesome. I am going to jump on now and order my goodies because it's coming into winter and I really want to have something that I can lounge around in the house with, right? And just feel beautiful and pretend that I'm in Hawaii or somewhere exotic, even though I won't be.
They don't come with pina coladas, unfortunately.
That's all right. That's fine. I'll take them anyway. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
I will talk to you soon.
All right. Fantastic. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. Bye. Woohoo!
All good?